Let's get out of here.
Today, we delve into the captivating world of Star Trek, unearthing details often overlooked by its most ardent fans. Behind the scenes, the atmosphere was charged with creative tension and occasional disagreements among the cast. For instance, William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy had a complex relationship that frequently sparked conflict. Rumors of rivalry emerged as Nimoy felt overshadowed by Shatner's commanding presence, leading to some tense moments on set. Moreover, the groundbreaking choices made during the show's production significantly altered television history. The inclusion of groundbreaking social themes, like racism and gender equality, was often met with resistance from network executives. Yet, the creators pressed forward, crafting episodes that challenged societal norms and encouraged viewers to confront uncomfortable truths. One notable episode, Let That Be Your Last Battlefield, tackled racial prejudice through its alien characters, showcasing the creative team's commitment to important messages. Additionally, the innovative use of special effects and set design during that era pushed the boundaries of what was possible on television, creating a visual language that is still admired today. Whether it was the intricate design of the Starship Enterprise or the imaginative alien cultures, these elements contributed to an immersive experience that captivated audiences. As we explore these lesser-known aspects, a deeper appreciation for the courage and creativity of the Star Trek team emerges.
Destroy this planet.
Why do you think I don't let you talk to your ship?
I don't need the ship.
William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy shared a complicated off-screen relationship that was filled with both tension and warmth. Their chemistry as Captain James T. Kirk and Spock was undeniable, but behind the scenes, their interactions varied from camaraderie to conflict. As two of the most iconic figures in the series, their emotional connection led to passionate moments that reflected the complexity of their characters. Meanwhile, the creators of the show faced challenges from network officials who were critical of the series' progressive attitudes. Star Trek emerged as a trailblazer, notably with the groundbreaking first interracial kiss on American television between Captain Kirk and Lieutenant Uhura, played by Nichelle Nichols. This significant moment challenged societal norms and highlighted the show's commitment to diversity and inclusion. Despite the controversies, Shatner and Nimoy's journey together became emblematic of Star Trek's daring spirit and lasting impact on television history and culture.
Do you become a vegetable? This friend of yours, the
Star Trek was often too controversial at the time and had many edits before being given the green light, contrasting contemporary television material. The show pushed boundaries in a decade marked by strict production codes and societal norms. Producers faced significant challenges to align the series with what was acceptable on television. One notable area of contention was the depiction of relationships and sexuality. Some sequences deemed too sexy for mainstream audiences sparked debates among network executives, leading to heavy edits to scenes that involved romantic implications or suggestive content. Despite this, various episodes included subtle allusions and themes that skirted around censorship without direct confrontation. In many cases, censors allowed these nuances to pass through, suggesting that although overtly sexual themes were trimmed, deeper implications could resonate with viewers in clever ways. Through this careful navigation of sensitive subjects, the show managed to carve out a distinct identity that would later become a hallmark of the Star Trek legacy.
Take him to the cell with his friend.
In the episode A Private Little War, a small piece of apparel and a passionate kiss served as a clever way for the creators to reference the Vietnam War without drawing direct attention. The subtle integration of political commentary into a science fiction narrative made it easier for audiences to engage with the themes without being overtly confrontational. William Shatner, known for his dynamic talent and high expectations, played a significant role in shaping the production's direction. He pushed for a larger font size for his name in the credits, making it stand out more prominently. This not only reflected his desire for recognition, but also showcased his confidence in his status within the show. Furthermore, Shatner's ambition extended to the dialogue, as he wanted episodes to feature the most words possible, adding richness to the scripts. His demands, while sometimes seen as excessive, ultimately contributed to the unique character of Star Trek and its lasting legacy in television history, allowing it to explore complex themes wrapped in engaging storytelling.
Find that we must return Captain Christopher to Earth, after all.
Why? You said I made no relative...
Even with the approval for his science fiction series, Gene Roddenberry and Desilu Studios faced an urgent need for screenplays. However, many potential writers struggled to grasp the unique content and ideas Roddenberry wanted to convey, resulting in expensive script development. In his quest to shape the narrative and vision of Star Trek, Roddenberry often resorted to completely rewriting the original screenplays. This practice meant that concepts and elements not aligned with his vision were eliminated, sometimes leading to frustration among original writers. Notable authors like Richard Matheson and Harlan Ellison frequently found themselves dealing with the consequences of these changes. Their initial ideas were often significantly altered or removed altogether, which not only blurred their creative contributions but also sparked tension within the writing community associated with the show. Despite the challenges, Roddenberry's insistence on his revisions played a pivotal role in defining the direction and tone of Star Trek, setting the foundation for its enduring legacy.
I might have known he'd turn up with something like that.
What's that?
I said,
During the reshoot of the original pilot for Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry made a notable decision by removing the female character number 1 from the cast. This choice prompted the retention of Spock, whose cool and logical demeanor became a defining trait in the series. Spock's character was designed to embody a rational but emotionally detached attitude, becoming a fan favorite. Although this decision showcased Roddenberry's vision of a more male-dominated crew, it also sparked conversations about representation in television. Furthermore, in the episode The Enemy Within, a controversial scene took place involving Grace Lee Whitney's character, Janice Rand. In this episode, she encounters an evil version of Captain Kirk, which is perceived as poorly motivated and uncomfortable. Spock plays a role in this intense moment, highlighting the struggle between good and evil. The tension in these scenes not only raised eyebrows among viewers, but also became a topic of discussion, reflecting the evolving social dynamics in 1960s television. Elements like these fostered deeper scrutiny of character choices and their implications within the series.
Well, I suppose you want them back now.
During the production of Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry was involved in relationships with both Majel Barrett and Nichelle Nichols. This complicated love life ultimately contributed to the end of his first marriage. Despite the challenges, Roddenberry continued to balance his personal life while working on the show. Majel Barrett would go on to become a significant figure in Star Trek history, eventually marrying Roddenberry. On the other hand, Leonard Nimoy emerged as a star due to the popularity of his character, Spock. However, this fame did not come without its struggles. The public pressure and attention were overwhelming for him, and he developed a drinking problem. It was an issue that the cast and crew largely overlooked, primarily because things seemed to go smoothly at work. Nimoy consistently showed up prepared and professional for filming, which masked the internal battles he faced. His dedication to his craft made it easier for others to disregard his struggles, reflecting the complexities of both Rex Roddenberry's relationships and Nimoy's personal challenges during this iconic series.
Doctor, the result of the first test on the creatures remains.
Desilu was the original production company behind Star Trek, creating the series during a time of changing dynamics in television. Before the second season began, Paramount Studios took control of the show, but faced significant financial losses. In a rather unusual move, they attempted to sell the program back to its creator, Gene Roddenberry. This reflects the challenges they encountered in making Star Trek a sustainable venture. Budget constraints played a major role in shaping how the production team operated. They diverged from many standard Hollywood practices, which were often costly, and became resourceful in other ways. For instance, they resorted to using a sweatshop to produce the elaborate costumes required for the show. This approach allowed them to save money, but highlighted the harsh realities of working within tight financial limits. Additionally, they avoided using union customers, further emphasizing their need to cut costs wherever possible. These decisions significantly impacted the show's production process, shaping the final result in ways that are still discussed by fans and scholars today.
My first officer, Lieutenant Commander Spock.
Captain?
Despite its groundbreaking themes, the program navigated sexuality with care. Throughout the series, viewers can find instances of heterosexuality displayed prominently among its characters, which aligns with the norms of its time. There were subtle hints of bisexuality woven into the storylines, and partnerships between various species added an additional layer of complexity to its exploration of relationships. However, the series refrained from depicting same-sex relationships directly, a choice that reflected the cultural constraints of the 1960s. George Takei, who played Sulu, and later came out publicly as gay, has spoken about how the series did not embrace openly queer representations during its original run, leaving a gap in visibility for LGBTQ audiences. William Shatner, who portrayed Captain Kirk, never watched the series in which he starred, citing the experience as too painful for him. Furthermore, Shatner did not keep any memorabilia from the show, suggesting a desire to distance himself from that part of his career, while reflecting on the series' impact over time. This complex interplay of personal feelings and societal norms continues to spark conversations about representation in media.
I warn you, anything you might say has already been taken down in evidence against you.
I've come for one purpose.
While the music of Star Trek is iconic, composer Alexander Courage faced challenges that affected his earnings. Due to an agreement with Gene Roddenberry, Courage received only a portion of the royalties. Roddenberry claimed half the revenues because he composed unsingable lyrics for the theme song. This decision ultimately hindered Courage's ability to profit from his work on the show's memorable score. As Star Trek gained popularity, NBC took drastic measures that threatened its existence. The network aimed to cancel the show by relegating it to a poor time slot, which significantly reduced its viewership. Additionally, NBC slashed the budget, putting further strain on production quality. Despite these setbacks, Roddenberry was determined to keep the series alive. He encouraged fans to protest against the network's decisions, generating grassroots support that helped to sustain the show's legacy during its early years. This combination of artistic and corporate struggles shaped the path of Star Trek and its music, becoming a pivotal chapter in television history.
Rumors indicate.
Let's not talk shop.
Jim, this could ruin you.
Gene L. Coon played a pivotal role in the development of Star Trek, contributing greatly to its universe. One of his major achievements was the creation of Starfleet Command, establishing a structured organization that became central to many storylines. He also introduced the Klingons, a race that would evolve into one of the series' most iconic adversaries. However, his journey with the show was not without challenges. Coon left the production due to conflicts with creator Gene Roddenberry, highlighting the often turbulent dynamics behind the scenes. When J.J. Abrams reimagined Star Trek for a new generation, he faced resistance from William Shatner, who portrayed Captain Kirk. Shatner desired a significant focus on his character, which led to disagreements regarding the direction of the film. Despite the initial tensions, Shatner gradually warmed up to Abrams' vision for the franchise, eventually recognizing the fresh approach that appealed to both old fans and newcomers. This evolving relationship underscored the complexities of adapting a beloved series while attempting to respect its legacy.
Our phaser weapons, existing so differently from any living matter or energy as we know.
The iconic phrase "live long and prosper" emerged from a unique gesture Leonard Nimoy observed during an Orthodox Jewish synagogue ceremony. This phrase became a key aspect of Star Trek's narrative, symbolizing peace and goodwill. Nimoy, who played Spock, introduced this gesture, known as the Vulcan salute, which connected deeply with audiences. It was not just a simple saying, it embodied the show's themes of exploration and coexistence among diverse cultures. At the same time, the show faced controversy regarding its portrayal of female characters. The use of miniskirts for women characters drew criticism from viewers who felt it was sexist. Opponents of this view pointed out that men in the series also wore similar outfits, arguing that the fashion was not gender-specific and aimed to create a futuristic aesthetic. This sparked a larger discussion about sexism in media and how clothing choices affect perceptions of women in television. Star Trek pushed boundaries in various ways, reflecting the cultural shifts of its time.
You mock them. You mock the lawgivers. And the strangers are not of the body.
While Shatner and Nimoy faced moments of envy during their time on Star Trek, they managed to overcome these feelings and restore their friendship. However, this camaraderie did not extend to every personal milestone. Shatner did not attend Nimoy's funeral in 2015, marking a significant end to their communication, particularly following a controversial incident related to a documentary. The show, while primarily known for its groundbreaking storytelling and themes, also portrayed male characters in ways that emphasized their physicality. Michael Forrest, who played the character Apollo, recalled how he was often taped and covered with cosmetics for his role. This created an image of males not merely as heroes, but as objects of admiration, adding a layer to the show's cultural impact. Star Trek's representation of men, through such attention to their physical forms, and the production choices surrounding them, speaks to broader themes in television and media at the time. The duality of these experiences between Shatner and Nimoy, and the portrayal of male characters contributes to the complex legacy of Star Trek.
Mark 14.
George Takei's public criticism of William Shatner highlighted a deeper rift that developed behind the scenes during the production of Star Trek. Takei often spoke about Shatner's lack of teamwork, pointing out that their on-screen synergy did not translate into a close off-screen relationship. This tension was evident when Shatner was notably absent from Takei's wedding, a snub that underscored their complicated dynamic. Despite their collaboration in the iconic series, personal animosities lingered, adding layers to their professional interaction. Meanwhile, the process of creating Star Trek went through significant changes before the series premiered. The original pilot, titled The Cage, was deemed too complex for audiences at the time. Creator Gene Roddenberry recognized the need for adjustments. To address the network's concerns, he revamped the show considerably. This included a revised screenplay that streamlined the plot and made it more accessible for viewers. Additionally, Roddenberry brought new actors into the fold, changing the cast to establish the beloved crew of the USS Enterprise. These decisions ultimately shaped the legacy of Star Trek, transforming it into the iconic series we know today.
Do you also have a tongue?
I am Spock, a dealer in Kivas and Trillium.
During the filming of the episode The Apple, loud special effects created an unsafe environment for the cast. Some performers suffered from inner ear injuries, a situation that raised concerns about safety on set. DeForest Kelley, known for his portrayal of Dr. Leonard McCoy, experienced tinnitus that lasted for 2 decades. This incident highlighted the challenges of balancing creative expression with actor health. As the series continued to impact popular culture, discussions about the future of the franchise began to arise. Paramount once nearly approved a movie focusing on a Starfleet Academy prequel, which would explore the early training of future Starfleet officers. However, due to protests from actors and fans who felt a strong connection to the original crew and storylines, the plans shifted. Ultimately, the focus returned to the beloved series with Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country. This film moved the narrative forward while addressing themes relevant to its time, keeping the spirit of exploration alive, even amid changing dynamics within the fandom.
Take care, Commander.
Initially, Spock was designed to have a red Martian appearance, a choice that offered a unique take on the character's alien heritage. However, this idea was abandoned due to the limitations of black and white television. The color differences could not be effectively conveyed, leading the creators to reimagine him with more distinctive Vulcan characteristics that would translate well to the screen. This change allowed Leonard Nimoy to portray Spock as a half-human, half-Vulcan character who captured the audience's imagination with his logical demeanor and emotional struggles. Alongside these creative decisions, the production faced unexpected challenges, such as during the filming of the episode Shore Leave. A Bengal tiger was brought onto the set as part of a whimsical scene that involved the crew's encounters with various creatures. Unfortunately, the tiger broke free, resulting in a moment of panic among the cast and crew. Thankfully, the situation was quickly brought under control, and no one was harmed during this unexpected incident. The combination of such creative risks and unexpected events added to the rich tapestry that made the series so memorable in its early days. Dorothy Fontana played a vital role in shaping Star Trek, and her contributions were influential, especially in an era where female writers faced significant challenges in the science fiction genre. To navigate the biases of the time, she chose to use her initials, DC, instead of her full name. This choice helped her gain recognition and allowed her to secure her place on the creative team. Fontana wrote several memorable episodes that remain beloved by fans, showcasing her talent and unique perspective. Meanwhile, Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, experienced a shift in his involvement with the franchise after the success of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Despite being a pivotal figure in its inception, he found himself relegated to an unpaid consultant role for the subsequent films. This change was a result of creative conflicts that arose during the development of the film series. The dynamic nature of the franchise's evolution left Roddenberry with less control than he had enjoyed previously, underscoring the complex relationships and challenges that can arise within a successful creative collaboration.
All weapons to full power. Basic control room. Energize. Acknowledge.
Leonard Nimoy's return to the role of Spock in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, was not an easy decision. He had been hesitant to reprise the character after the original series ended. However, he was ultimately persuaded to come back under specific conditions. He wanted to ensure that Spock would have a significant and memorable character arc, which would include his death. This promise was crucial for Nimoy, as he felt it was important for Spock's journey to have emotional depth and a fitting conclusion. The success of Star Trek II led to further opportunities for Nimoy within the franchise. He went on to direct Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, which became one of the most beloved films in the series. Nimoy's direction would showcase his understanding of the character and the themes that fans cherished. His ability to blend humor, drama, and social commentary resonated well with audiences, cementing his place as a pivotal figure in the Star Trek legacy. His journey from actor to director reflected his deep connection to the franchise and its core ideals, making his contributions invaluable to the world of science fiction.
I never realized how close you and Dad had been until I read through some of the papers he wrote. Letters to Mother.
As we conclude our journey through the thrilling adventures of Star Trek, hold on tight, for what lies ahead is a compelling exploration into the lives of the legendary cast who boldly went where no one had gone before. After the cameras stopped rolling and the Starship Enterprise returned to its dock, the paths of our beloved crew diverged in unexpected ways. From Leonard Nimoy, whose portrayal of Spock left an indelible mark on pop culture, to William Shatner, who transformed his fame into a multifaceted career, their stories are rich with triumphs and challenges. Did George Takei's activism change the world beyond the screen? How did Nichelle Nichols inspire generations while continuing to break barriers? Join us as we peel back the layers of their post-Star Trek lives, revealing the remarkable achievements and hidden struggles that define their journeys. This bonus segment promises to ignite your curiosity as we uncover the real adventures that started where the show ended.
To kill him, as you did here before.
William Campbell portrayed Koloth in the 1966 Star Trek series, a fierce Klingon commander known for his complexity and intensity. His role marked a pivotal moment in Star Trek's portrayal of Klingons, highlighting their honor-bound culture and militaristic ethos. Campbell's performance brought depth to Koloth, creating a lasting impact on the franchise. After Star Trek, Campbell faced numerous challenges. While he enjoyed a successful career in film and television, including notable roles in series like Bonanza and The Twilight Zone, darker aspects of his life began to surface. He battled alcoholism, which deeply affected his personal relationships and career stability. Struggles with addiction led to intermittent work and strained ties with family and friends. In his later years, Campbell found solace in painting and embraced a quieter life away from the public eye. He maintained a passion for storytelling, often sharing tales from his past. The last known information about him reflects a man navigating the shadows of his past while celebrating the artistic endeavors that remain significant to him.
I can't go either. I suppose if they have one human being, they might try.
Nichelle Nichols portrayed Nyota Uhura in the 1966 television series Star Trek, breaking barriers as one of the first black women to have a significant role on American television. Her character served as a communications officer aboard the USS Enterprise, noted for her intelligence and strength. Uhura's presence was revolutionary, challenging stereotypes and inspiring future generations of actors and actresses of color. After Star Trek, Nichols faced various challenges in her career and personal life. Despite her impactful role, she struggled to find substantial acting opportunities in Hollywood, often being typecast or overlooked. Nichols also found herself grappling with personal hardships, including a brief, tumultuous marriage and the loss of her mother, which deeply affected her. The actor became an advocate for NASA's recruitment efforts, mentoring women and minorities in science and engineering. Scandals were few, but Nichols did face industry pushback for her strong opinions on race and equality. In later years, she dealt with health issues, including the effects of a stroke that impacted her speech. As of the latest updates, she has been reported to be under care in her advanced age, with no significant public appearances in recent times.
I'm left. We appeal to you in the name of civilization.
Diana Muldaur stepped into the role of Anne Mulhall in Star Trek's second season episode, Return to Tomorrow, portraying a brilliant astrobiologist whose body becomes a vessel for an ancient consciousness. Her performance was poised, intelligent, and authoritative, embodying the essence of a scientist caught in an extraordinary situation. Muldaur's presence on the show was brief, but memorable, marking her as one of the few actors to play multiple roles in the franchise. After Star Trek, Muldaur's career flourished. She became a sought-after television actress, appearing in numerous series, including McCloud and The Rockford Files. Her most notable role came in L.A. Law, where she played the ruthless Rosalind Shays, a character whose shocking death, plummeting down an elevator shaft, became one of television's most infamous moments. Despite her success, Muldaur faced personal hardships. Her first husband, actor James Vickery, died in 1979, leaving her widowed. She later married writer Robert Dozier, but he too passed away in 2012. Professionally, Muldaur's tenure on Star Trek The Next Generation as Dr. Catherine Pulaski was met with mixed reactions, leading to her departure after one season. In later years, she withdrew from Hollywood, retreating to Martha's Vineyard, where she focused on her love for animals and nature. As of the last known reports, Muldaur remains largely out of the public eye, living a quiet life away from the industry that once defined her. Grace Lee Whitney portrayed Yeoman Janice Rand in the original Star Trek series, a role that embodied professionalism and poise. Rand was a trusted aide to Captain Kirk, often seen as a potential romantic interest, though this dynamic was never fully explored. Whitney's portrayal brought depth to the character, showcasing vulnerability and strength in a male-dominated environment. Despite her promising start, Whitney was abruptly dropped from the series after just 8 episodes, a decision she later attributed to creative changes and her struggles with alcoholism. This marked the beginning of a tumultuous period in her life. Following her departure, Whitney spiraled into addiction, battling alcohol and drugs while facing personal and professional setbacks. She reached rock bottom, living on Hollywood's Skid Row, before finding redemption through a 12-step program and her faith in God. Her recovery allowed her to return to the Star Trek franchise, appearing in several films and episodes, including Star Trek the Motion Picture and Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Whitney also penned an autobiography, The Longest Trek: My Tour of the Galaxy, detailing her struggles and triumphs. Her personal life was marked by 2 marriages and the challenges of raising 2 children amidst her battles with addiction. Whitney became an advocate for addiction recovery, using her experiences to help others. She passed away on May 1, 2015, at the age of 85, leaving behind a legacy of resilience and redemption. DeForest Kelley portrayed Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy in the 1966 TV series Star Trek, capturing audiences with his mix of gruffness and compassion. His character often stood in moral opposition to the cold logic of Spock, providing emotional depth. Kelly's performance created a lasting impression, emblematic of the show's themes of humanity and ethical dilemmas in a technologically advanced future. After Star Trek concluded in 1969, Kelly's career continued with appearances in films and television, often reprising his iconic role in various Star Trek-related productions. However, his life was shadowed by personal struggles. Kelly faced difficulties with typecasting, a common plight for actors in iconic roles. Despite his success, he battled feelings of inadequacy, and once faced a serious health scare when diagnosed with cancer in the early 1990s, which he overcame after treatment. The late 90s saw a return to the spotlight at conventions, where he reflected on being part of a cultural phenomenon. Kelly passed away in 1999. His legacy endures through the countless fans who remember him as one of the beloved figures of the Star Trek universe. Last known information highlights his contributions recognized posthumously, including his induction into the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
A pair of goggles. There'll be none on the planet's surface, Doctor.
Morgan Woodward's portrayal of Captain Tracy in the 1966 series Star Trek leaves a haunting impression. Tracy is a ruthless yet charismatic leader who embodies the darker side of authority, displaying a chilling resolve as he navigates the complexities of power and morality. His performance, marked by intensity and depth, showcases Woodward's ability to infuse the character with an unsettling duality. After Star Trek, Woodward's career flourished, with appearances in notable series like Gunsmoke and Dallas. However, his path was not without shadows. Woodward faced personal hardships, including battles with addiction, which significantly impacted his life and career. Scandal marred his later years, marked by an incident involving alleged misconduct that cast a long shadow over his legacy. Despite these challenges, Woodward remained a dedicated performer, often reflecting on his past with a somber tone. The last known information on him indicates he passed away in 2021, leaving behind a legacy both captivating and complex.
Will be considered expendable. Captain out.
Leonard Nimoy's portrayal of Mr. Spock in the 1966 television series Star Trek marked a pivotal moment in television history. He brought an otherworldly presence to the character, balancing logic and emotion in a way that resonated deeply with audiences. Spock became a cultural icon, representing the struggle between humanity and reason. This role, however, was not without its burdens. Nimoy faced typecasting, struggling to break free from the shadow of Spock as his career progressed. After Star Trek, he directed films and appeared in various television shows, but often found himself battling his own identity as an actor. Nimoy experienced personal hardships, including a complicated relationship with his Jewish heritage and feelings of alienation. He faced public scrutiny when he published his memoir, I Am Not Spock, which some fans perceived as a rejection of the beloved character. This was followed by his later work, I Am Spock, which attempted to reconcile his identity with his most famous role. In his later years, he dealt with illness, including chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which he publicly revealed in 2014. He remained active on social media until his death in 2015, sharing insights and reflections on life and art, leaving a legacy that continues to influence generations.
I help you, friend. Don't you know me? We all know one another.
James Doohan is best remembered for his iconic role as Montgomery Scotty Scott in the 1966 television series Star Trek. His portrayal of the ship's chief engineer, known for his brilliant yet often humorous solutions to technical problems, became a cultural touchstone in science fiction. Doohan's ability to bring depth to the character made Scotty a beloved figure among fans, embodying the spirit of ingenuity and camaraderie that characterized the crew of the USS Enterprise. After Star Trek, Doohan faced challenges in his career. While he remained active in voice acting and appearances at conventions, his life was marred by personal hardships. Struggling with the typecasting that often accompanies iconic roles, he fought to find meaningful projects. Doohan's experiences during World War II, where he lost his finger during the D-Day invasion, haunted him and shaped his worldview. He battled significant health issues later in life, including pneumonia and Alzheimer's disease, which affected his communication abilities. The latter part of his life was quiet, yet filled with nostalgia as fans continued to recognize him for Scotty. Doohan passed away in 2005, leaving behind a legacy that still resonates today. Recent events reveal that he remains a celebrated figure, with ongoing tributes reflecting the impact of his work on generations. His spirit endures, inspiring new fans and honoring the memory of a man who brought warmth and complexity to the stars.
Everywhere.
George Takei stepped into the role of Hikaru Sulu in 1966, embodying the helmsman of the USS Enterprise with a quiet confidence and unwavering precision. His portrayal was groundbreaking, offering a rare moment of representation for Asian American actors in a time when Hollywood was reluctant to embrace diversity. Sulu was more than a navigator. He was a swordsman, a leader, and a character who exuded a quiet but undeniable strength. Takei's performance ensured that Sulu was not a mere background figure, but a vital presence in the Star Trek universe. After the series ended, Takei's career expanded beyond the confines of science fiction. He reprised his role in 6 Star Trek films, eventually seeing Sulu promoted to captain, but his life outside of acting was marked by deep personal struggles. As a child, he was imprisoned in Japanese-American internment camps during World War II, an experience that haunted him for decades. In Hollywood, he faced the silent but crushing weight of discrimination, limiting his opportunities. In 2005, he publicly came out as gay, revealing the years of secrecy and fear he endured in an industry that often punished authenticity. His advocacy for LGBTQ rights became a defining aspect of his later years, making him a powerful voice in the fight for equality. Scandals followed him, including public feuds with Star Trek co-star William Shatner, whose dismissive attitude toward Takei fueled a decades-long animosity. In 2017, Takei was accused of sexual misconduct, a claim he vehemently denied, stating it was a fabricated attack on his character. Despite the controversy, he remained active in politics and social justice, using his platform to speak on issues of immigration and civil rights. His last known public engagements centered around his memoirs and his continued activism, ensuring that his legacy extended beyond the screen. If history has taught anything about Takei, it is that he is a survivor, a man who has faced adversity and emerged with his voice intact.
Fascinating. It's merely a hollow tube, Captain. No matter.
Ted Cassidy's presence in Star Trek was brief but haunting. In the Corbomite maneuver, he provided the deep, unsettling voice for Balak's puppet, a grotesque, lifeless figure meant to intimidate the crew of the Enterprise. Though the puppet was merely a deception, Cassidy's voice gave it an eerie authority, making it one of the more memorable moments in the early episodes of the series. After Star Trek, Cassidy continued to carve out a career defined by his towering frame and resonant voice. He was best known for playing Lurch in The Addams Family, a role that cemented his status as a pop culture icon. But behind the scenes, his life was marked by struggles. His imposing stature, standing at nearly 7 feet, often led to typecasting, limiting his opportunities. He sought more serious roles, but was frequently relegated to playing monsters, villains, or silent enforcers. Cassidy's personal life was equally complex. He endured financial difficulties and personal setbacks, including a divorce that left him emotionally drained. His health deteriorated in the late 1970s, and he underwent surgery for a benign tumor. Complications from the procedure led to his untimely death in 1979 at the age of 46. His legacy remains in the deep, resonant echoes of his voice, forever tied to the eerie figures he brought to life.
Traveler.
And this...
Walter Koenig stepped into the role of Pavel Chekhov in Star Trek's second season, a young, eager navigator with a thick Russian accent. His character was meant to appeal to younger audiences and add Cold War-era intrigue. But behind the scenes, Koenig's journey was far from glamorous. The show's cancellation in 1969 left him stranded in Hollywood, where roles were scarce. He struggled financially, earning little from Star Trek despite its growing cult status. The phone didn't ring, and his career stalled. He turned to writing, contributing to various television projects, but the shadow of Chekhov loomed over him. His personal life was marked by tragedy. His son, Andrew, took his own life in 2010, a devastating blow that Koenig never fully recovered from. He continued to make appearances at conventions, embracing his legacy while carrying the weight of his past. His last known public engagement was in 2024, attending a Star Trek event, a quiet figure in the fading light of a long career.
Good, I agree. That leaves me free.
Free, Captain.
William Shatner's portrayal of Captain James Tiberius Kirk in the 1966 television series Star Trek remains one of the most iconic roles in science fiction history. As the fearless and charismatic captain of the USS Enterprise, Shatner brought a commanding presence to the screen, blending authority with a sense of adventure. Kirk's leadership style, often balancing logic and emotion, became a defining trait, and his interactions with Spock and McCoy added depth to the character. Shatner's performance elevated Kirk to a cultural symbol of exploration and resilience, leaving an indelible mark on the Star Trek franchise. After Star Trek, Shatner's career was a mix of highs and lows. He reprised his role as Kirk in 7 Star Trek films, but his post-Trek years were marked by financial struggles, including a period of living out of his truck. Shatner found renewed success in the 1980s with the television series T.J. Hooker, and later as the eccentric lawyer Denny Crane in Boston Legal, a role that earned him 2 Emmy Awards. Beyond acting, Shatner explored music, writing, and directing, though his ventures were often met with mixed reviews. Shatner's personal life was tumultuous. He endured multiple divorces and the tragic death of his third wife, Naren Kidd, who drowned in their swimming pool in 1999. The incident was ruled accidental, but it cast a shadow over his life. Shatner has also faced criticism for his alleged difficult behavior on set and strained relationships with some Star Trek co-stars. Despite these challenges, he remained a prominent figure in entertainment, known for his resilience and ability to reinvent himself. In recent years, Shatner made headlines by becoming the oldest person to travel to space at the age of 90, aboard Blue Origin's New Shepard in 2021. This journey was a fitting chapter for the man who once portrayed a starship captain exploring the cosmos. As of the latest updates, Shatner continues to engage with fans through conventions, social media, and new projects, maintaining his status as a beloved yet enigmatic figure in popular culture.
My mind.
If I tell you, then will you pick some dream you've had and let me live it with you?
Majel Barrett portrayed Nurse Chapel in the 1966 series Star Trek. Her character was notable for balancing a nurturing demeanor with an assertive approach, reflecting the complexities of a woman in a male-dominated environment. Barrett's captivating presence infused depth into the role, making Nurse Chapel a memorable figure in the Star Trek universe. After the show ended, Barrett continued to act but faced personal struggles, including the challenges of a turbulent marriage with actor Gene Roddenberry. Their relationship was marked by both professional collaboration and personal conflict, including a public divorce in the early 1980s. Barrett also experienced significant hardships, including grappling with the loss of her son in the 1970s, which deeply affected her life. In her later years, she remained associated with Star Trek, providing voice work and continuing to attend conventions, becoming a beloved figure among fans. The last known details suggest that Barrett passed away in 2008, leaving behind a legacy intertwined with the fabric of television history.
These crates contain chemical explosives. They should make a more satisfactory display.
In the 1966 television series Star Trek, Barbara Babcock lent her voice to the Beta 5 computer, an artificial intelligence imbued with a sense of authority, intellect, and somberness. Though her role was a voiceover, its impact resonated through the series' exploration of technology and humanity. Babcock's performance gave the computer an unsettling quality, crafting a character that personified both guidance and an underlying menace, reflecting the anxieties of the time about the rise of technology. After Star Trek, Babcock's career continued to thrive. She appeared in various television shows and films, showcasing her versatility as an actress. However, her journey was not without challenges. She faced significant personal hardships, including health issues that affected her ability to work consistently. In the late 1980s, she found herself in the media spotlight due to a highly publicized divorce, which at times overshadowed her professional achievements. The conflict exposed fractured relationships, contributing to a clouded public image. As for her last known information, Barbara Babcock gradually receded from public life, but remained a revered figure among fans of classic television. While her current whereabouts may not be widely reported, she is remembered fondly for her contributions to the arts, particularly her haunting portrayal of technological influence in Star Trek. Ian Wolf's portrayal of Mr. Ados in Star Trek's All Our Yesterdays was a masterclass in enigmatic authority. As the librarian of Sarpedon, overseeing the Atavachron, a device capable of transporting individuals into the past, Atos embodied a blend of cordiality and quiet menace. His replicas added an eerie dimension, emphasizing his omnipresence and control. Wolf's precise diction and imposing demeanor lent the character an air of mystery, making Atos unforgettable in the Star Trek universe. After Star Trek, Wolf continued his prolific career, appearing in films like Witness for the Prosecution and XX-1138. Despite his success, his personal life was marked by challenges. Wolf's marriage to Elizabeth Schroeder endured, but his later years were shadowed by health issues and the loss of close friends. Known for his reserved nature, Wolf rarely spoke of his struggles, maintaining an aura of mystery. His longevity in Hollywood was remarkable, yet he often lamented the industry's shift away from character-driven roles. Wolf passed away in 1992 at the age of 95, leaving behind a legacy of over 400 film and television credits. His final years were spent in quiet reflection, far from the spotlight. With no scandals or controversies to mar his reputation, Wolf remains a figure of intrigue, celebrated for his dedication to his craft and his ability to captivate audiences with his enigmatic presence. As we wrap up our journey through the 1966 TV series Star Trek, it's hard not to reflect on its lasting impact. The series aired during a time of significant social change. It wasn't just a show about space. It challenged ideas about race, gender, and morality. The courageous portrayals by actors like Nichelle Nichols, who broke barriers as Lieutenant Uhura, and George Takei, who faced his own challenges as an Asian American actor, inspired countless viewers. The cast faced personal trials too, from Leonard Nimoy's struggle with the character of Spock to William Shatner's rise in an industry that often overlooked him. Fans watched with fascination as the crew of the USS Enterprise navigated not just alien worlds, but also complex human emotions and ethical dilemmas. Did you grow up watching Star Trek? What memories does it bring back? Whether it was family time spent gathered around the TV, or late-night reruns that sparked your imagination, we would love to hear your stories. Please share your experiences in the comments below.
I agree. Attack.